Hey guys, we're doing another fluorescent resin art, or fluid art project, and I had a couple of failures with the Alumilite Slow, the urethane resin, and just to kind of show you what happened here. So you can see there's a lot of texture and a lot of bubbles in here, and there's one or two reasons for that. One, because I didn't do anything with the wood, so it kind of keeps absorbing into the pores of the wood. The other thing it could be is, and probably a combination of things, but another thing it could be is the moisture in the wood might not be completely dry, which is totally possible in my garage. It's always kind of humid and moist in here. So then the second one I tried was this piece of MDF or particle board. And you can kind of see that there's a lot of texture. If you look real close, there's a lot of tiny bubbles forming. And for the same reasons. I didn't do anything. I didn't coat it before I tried to put the first coat on. And then my third option was again a piece of plywood, but I first tried coating it with wood glue, which helped, but didn't completely eliminate the problem. So what people normally do is they normally primer these. That was going to be my next step for this one, but I'm not going to do the Alumilite yet. It's raining outside, so I have spray paint primer, and I won't be able to do that inside. So what I'm going to do instead is try this Art and Glow resin, and we'll see what that kind of does. It's got a 40-minute work time, and I've already mixed up the first coat of black, and we'll see how this goes. Just as a reminder, my first fluorescent resin video, I used the East Coast tabletop epoxy resin, which worked pretty much fine. We had some surface defects, but that was mostly due to stuff kind of falling on it, which is why we're now working in a tub so I can put a cover on it. So I'm going to go ahead and pour the first coat of the Art and Glow on this one and see what happens. And I'm just using the heat gun mostly to kind of push it around. This stuff is a lot thicker than the Alumilite. I'll show you the side B is really thick. It does move around, but very slowly. I think I'll use a popsicle stick first to kind of get it moving. Okay, I think we'll cover that up and give it some time to harden and see what happens. If this one fails, we'll do the other piece of wood with a primer and Alumilite, see how that goes. Okay guys, so it's the next day. we're using the Art and Glow casting and coating epoxy resin, and the surface looks okay. I didn't prime it. I didn't put anything else on it. I just put a coat of the black resin. There's definitely some bubbles in certain areas, and that's probably because in certain areas of the wood it was more porous than others. But it's definitely workable. And I would probably recommend, regardless, to put primer on any wood before you do one of these resin projects, after seeing the sort of Alumilite results. So once the rain clears up, we're still going to try the Alumilite urethane resin with a primed piece of wood. But let's pour this and kind of see how it comes out. All right, we're going to let the heat gun do some work here, and we'll kind of see how that design comes out. I didn't really have any kind of plan of attack. I just kind of poured it on there as I saw it. So one thing I forgot to mention is I'm still using the Alumilite fluorescence, and in each of the fluorescent colors I put a drop of white in. So now that I kind of see how this is turning out, I'm going to kind of put some color in areas where it's more gray or black or white. And instead of butane torching it, I'm going to try spritzing it with alcohol. Which is supposed to help with bubbles. It also interact with the paint itself. I mean, with the resin itself. Still kind of feel like there's too much black in there. Let's do a real lot of alcohol in one spot, see what happens. Okay, we're going to put the cover on and give it some time and see what happens. Hey guys, so it's been 24 hours with the Art and Glow sort of resin project. It didn't change a whole lot during that time. So you can tell it's a really thick resin. Didn't kind of move around on its own or anything. There is a little bit of sort of swooping into that. There's a little bit of a gully in the board there on that end. I think the alcohol did a really good job of keeping down the bubbles. There's almost no surface defects on this. I think I see one tiny bubble, and it's really even hard to tell. It's right there. So we're still gonna try the Alumilite one with a primered board. And by the way, these are both plywood. So we'll try that next with the Alumilite. So both the East Coast Resin and the Art and Glow did fairly well, just having a sort of a base coat of black resin and then doing the main pour over that. And so far the Alumilite had problems with bubbling and really bad, kind of like cratering and bubbling and all kinds of stuff. Well, you saw it earlier. But the downside to either the Art and Glow or the East Coast Resin, which they're both sort of epoxy, sort of coating and tabletop resins, is that they take a really long time to dry. And as a result, if you don't have it in a really clean environment, it's going to have a lot of surface defects when like dust and stuff like that falls on it, which the East Coast Resin, when I had that problem, we try to solve that problem by putting it in a tub with a cover. And again, so next we want to try the Alumilite because, which is urethane based, because it's really thin. It's not that thick. And I'm guessing you'll get a lot of sort of effects after you leave the last coat up there, because it'll flow a lot easier. So anyway, that's I really appreciate it if you'd like the video and subscribe to my channel. That'll help me out quite a bit. But that's about it for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.